every one of us should be doing. The second point, why should we even care about what is happening in two faraway lands? Should we even care that one nation has invaded another? And I was in fact surprised to hear some people remark with complete callousness that this war is of no concern to us. One of them said, two kafir countries fighting, who cares? This really surprised me because it betrays an ignorance of both history and of basic Islamic theology. As for ignorance of history, just go back 100 years. World War I was the result of conflicts in that very region. Serbia and Germany and Russia and other lands. 100 years ago. And World War I, when it began, it had nothing to do with the Middle East. And it had nothing to do with the Arabs. And it had nothing to do with the Muslim civilization. But by the time World War I ended, all lands of the world, including our Muslim lands, had been dragged in. And directly as a result of World War I, the caliphate collapsed. And the Sykes-Picot Agreement that divided the Muslim Ummah into many dozens of nation states was enacted. And Palestine was handed over to the British. And the rest, as they say, is history. Imagine if somebody said 100 years ago, who cares what's happening in France and Serbia and Belgium and Russia? Who cares? Do you not learn from history? When superpowers get involved, the world gets involved. But also, not just from history, what type of heart is it that doesn't care about the plight of other human beings? What type of Iman are we teaching when one of our own members says this, that who cares, two kafir countries fighting has nothing to do with us? Where is the basic humanity and compassion? Subhanallah, do we not learn from the seerah? Do we not learn from the sunnah that a lady entered the fire of hell because she showed callousness to a cat? And another prostitute lady entered Jannah because she showed compassion to a dog. If Allah will punish people for being hard-hearted towards animals, and Allah will reward people for being compassionate towards animals, including dogs, then what do you think about compassion and mercy towards your fellow human beings? And what do you think about callousness towards fellow human beings? What type of Iman does such a person have that this person believes that only a Muslim we care about and anybody else we don't care about? Yes, it is true, and I'll be the first to say that we have stronger ties with our blood and our fellow Muslims, people, no doubt about that. That when we like somebody, when we're familiar with somebody, when we're related with somebody, yes, the level of connection will be stronger. But this does not mean that just because a person is not of our faith or not of our background that we have no compassion. Not at all. The indiscriminate killings of civilians and the creation of massive refugees and the suffering and pain that any war inflicts, it should bring about in us a genuine sense of compassion, a genuine sense of caring for humanity. And I say this as bluntly as possible, that any Muslim who doesn't care about the mass suffering of any large group of innocent people, something is wrong with that person's Iman. This is not the Iman that Allah and His Messenger have taught us and we should be having. We care about everybody, the orphan, the yatim, the faqir, the miskin. We care about the refugee and the women and the widows. We care about all of them regardless of faith. And yes, we say this very clearly. My blood brother, no doubt I'll care more about him. My Muslim brother, no doubt the level is there. Yes, more. But just because he's not my blood brother or just because it's a stranger of another faith doesn't mean I have no compassion. And anybody who believes this has really not understood the realities of our own religion. So this is the second point. Yes, we care. We care both historically and we care as the compassion of a fellow human and a fellow Muslims will have. And by the way, it's not as if there are no Muslims in that region. Go study your history. Large pockets of Muslims have been there for many hundreds of years, for many centuries. Look at all of the Tatars, the Tatar civilization, which is a Muslim-based civilization, and other pockets over there as well. So yes, we care. We care for many reasons.